All right, let's look at IonQ. Oh yeah, there you go. Quan's got it. All right, let's glance at IonQ with the same analysis. Yeah, we don't want Electron. Eric, we've talked about that internally. Electron is notoriously slow. Now we should try it just to see, but my guys have said they don't want to do Electron. Okay, so here's IonQ, still wildly overvalued at $50. Let's look at some of their financials. Yeah, I figure we should try it. I mean, what's the fucking harm? Okay, at this rate, we might play the Meek Mill for the Rigetti. And if it goes to 10, we're going to take some Galaxy Gas right on the air. No, I've never listened to All In. Usually when these stocks crash, they go down like 50% the first day. Like they don't just go down a couple percent. So that's why I'm kind of not believing the rally a little, but we're looking at IonQ right now. We were just looking at Rigetti. We did a model and our fair value is $1. It used to trade at $1. Now let's look at IonQ. The market had it right. But every dog has its day. That's the beautiful thing about the stock market that you don't get in the private market. You might get a bubble. And if you get a bubble, you know what to do. Here comes IonQ rallying a bit back here. Let's see, shall we sell some of the protection we bought? Some of the protection we bought barely gone up. It really hasn't rallied back. In fact, it's gotten worse. Shit ugly. Shit stinks. Smell like doo-doo.
Autofilled.
Plunge protection team. Quantum police, get on the ground. Stay in superposition. Do not observe. I'm warning you, do not observe any state. He's going to observe. You may or may not be shot. One of your states may be shot. Tunnel him, tunnel him, tunnel him. Teleport him, teleport him. Put him in time crystal. Oh, I think you'll have HTTPQ at some point. I mean, that could be the bull thesis. That's not a bad bull thesis. Yeah, we didn't, not much on CES. Just not that important for NVIDIA, to be honest. All right, so IonQ is 10.7 billion market cap. Okay, last quarter they did 12.4 in revs. They're the company that's kind of executing the best. But a lot of that revenue is contracts that I don't think are going to renew. One of the problems with IonQ and all the quantum companies is I think there'll be a quantum winner, because again, these machines can't factor, 15. So why in the world should we be paying for them? And if you're Elon and you're sitting there trying to cut waste in the government, on one hand, this is a national security thing. On the other hand, you can't just throw money away at science experiments that don't work. There should be industrial applications and investor interest. It can't be only the government interested in it. Well, the government can't pay for it forever. I mean, it's a good thesis. Think about AI. There was an AI winter. There were 3 of them. And there was a quantum winter. This is the thaw of the quantum winter. We were in a quantum winter. It was bad. That's why these guys all had to SPAC. So I don't know if government's going to dole out that money nonstop. Yeah, it should just be. It should be investors. Just handing freebies out to these companies forever and ever. It doesn't make sense. And look, DARPA canceled the internet like 10 times. DARPA canceled AI like 10 times. They're like, all right, we're not going to fund it anymore. Marvin Minsky canceled AI. It's like, they can't do exclusive wars. It's over. And they stopped working on AI for 10 years because of that. No XOR. It's over. And then 10 years later, they said, we're so back. Yeah, that's a really good point. CL55. There's also, look, the president's not going to be president for more than 4 years. You got 4 years to make your earnings, and the president's going to be pretty distracted with that. Right? Where'd you work on Wall Street, Eugene? They gave the IonQ CEO some more shares, I guess. I'm short IonQ, short Rigetti, short AVXL. Those are my 3 positions in my YOLO account. I've greatly simplified the situation. Real developments in what fields? Transformers arc? What are you talking about? Transformers have nothing to do with quantum. Quantum can't hold state for 100 milliseconds, let alone do transformers. Some of my friends invented transformers. Do you know who you're talking to? Yeah, this was in the 80s. My source is Nils Nilsson's book on the history of AI. This is like Licklider in that era. We're in an AI super boom now, obviously. But AI's gone through many winters. There was even an AI winter just before the recent boom. There's the expert systems winter of the 80s. There was the Minsky winter. And there was sort of a quiet winter for a while in the 90s, like late 90s. But then it sort of broke when PayPal started using machine learning. Winter just means nobody likes the stocks, nobody's investing. Sucks to be a company, funding dries up, it's over. Risk off. Yeah, we'll get AVXL at some point this year. Won't be long. No pun intended. It's a pretty big position. Justin, all the time. I mean, the whole process is a squeeze. You just have to sort of adjust your portfolio so that you don't go out of business. I don't use TA at all. I don't even look at charts, dude. There's something called merger arbitrage, Mr. Kashari. The risk of a deal closing is typically why.
Order partially filled.
I mean, if you look at charts, it's totally fine.
Order filled.
Nothing wrong with looking at charts. You're getting use out of them. Do it. A lot of smart investors do that. It's just not my personal style. And of course, I look at charts to look at like the long-term pricing of something. But I don't use them to make financial decisions, if that makes sense. I think it's actually adverse to know where a stock has been, because you're really mostly supposed to focus on where it's going. Yeah, I respect anybody who consistently makes money in the market. So whatever tools they use, let them use it. They're not going to stop using it because you say so.
Order partially filled.
It's awesome to press the button on my laptop and see it on my Godel. I love that.
Order partially filled.
We are going to do that, Eugene. We are definitely going to do that soon. Why not, right? I don't see why we shouldn't have level 2. We're mostly hiring for full stack people, although we just picked up 2 really good engineers, one Google guy and one Carnegie Mellon grad. Yeah, we don't do order books yet. We do time and sales. So here's our time and sales system. Here's just Rigetti time and sales. Oops.
Order filled. Order filled.
You can even show milliseconds on this, I think. So there's the milliseconds. Let's see if we can look closely. React isn't built to handle this. This is why we need Electron. So there's the 0.1. If you look, you can see the milliseconds skate by. It's hard to render that much. React has a render limit of 60 FPS actually. So we might ditch React so that we can redraw the screen faster. Lognomics, really? You did a charting thing? We should talk. Oh man. Yeah, Electron is. Our guys are very concerned about performance, but I think we should try it. Yeah, we would relocate somebody, but strongly prefer U.S. people. And we'd also, at some point, build an international office. No, 60 isn't enough because you're getting more than 60 updates a second. I mean, it's kind of a blur anyway, but yeah, I mean, do we want C# guys? And now you're talking about, okay, we have a team that does mobile, we have a team that does web app, and we have a team that does desktop for Windows. Then we need a team that does desktop for Apple. What a shit show. So how does somebody, I mean, they're all just making front ends, I guess, but well, Bloomberg is time and sales. Most people don't use Bloomberg's API. You want to check time and sales if you have an order executing by your traders, for example, if you're institutional. All I do is cut myself all day long with these fucking things. My guys know Flutter well. I don't. When I was in prison, I asked my dad, who doesn't know anything about programming, who passed away last year. I asked my dad to send me all of the popular repos on GitHub. And I saw Flutter on there. I'm sitting in prison. I have no clue what's going on in development. And, you know, he sends the thing about Flutter to me, and I was like, okay, I got to look into this. Remember Lodash? I'm a JavaScript guy, so. Do you want me to stream less, Matt? I can stream less. Should I go? Am I in the way? If I'm not welcome, I can leave. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I don't know why I stream so much. I like connecting with people. I like people seeing the real me. They get kind of a different version of me online. I don't know if any of that makes sense. A lot of people have kind of become influencers. I was doing it before anybody else. Most people on Wall Street thought I was crazy. And you still don't have people on Wall Street doing it. Roaring Kitty was probably the first like big financial influencer. So yeah, it definitely shapes opinion, because I think most people, no matter how judgmental they may be, they say, "Oh, hold on, I get to see the real thing. Let me see. Let me check. Maybe I was wrong." And you know, some people won't change their mind, and that's fine. And some people say, "Hold on a second, I thought that was funny. I like this guy. You know, let me give him another 5 minutes." And you might change your mind, you might not. But I think it's nice to have that, at least, that opportunity. And it's fun to interact with people. I gotta admit that back in the day, I hate to say it, but like streaming does make you popular. It's a little bit of an ego lift, and you can definitely get women from it. I don't know what to tell you. If you're a ghost online, it's a bit harder. Women watch and they're like, "Oh, I would date that guy. I like that guy." Wifey is not from the stream, but if I didn't stream, she probably would never have heard of me, if that makes sense. If I just like ducked my head under the ground and never, it was just like some random CEO that, you know, got in hot water, she'd be like, "Oh yeah, who is that guy?" As opposed to like, "Oh no, I know who that guy is." Yeah, part of the reason is because I wanted everyone to know, if that makes sense. I don't know. Anyways, we'll get back to work here. So IonQ has had some revenue and they've had some growth. So unlike the other companies that SPAC'd, they've actually sort of have shown some ability to grow. They haven't. It's not clear that they won't end up in the same place as Rigetti and these other guys, because they kind of look like the same. Their full year guidance is whatever. I'm sure they'll meet it or beat it. But the question is what happens in 2025 and beyond. And so it's sort of the same shit. I mean, they have an Air Force contract, which is very small. And that's really it. Like, so once the Air Force contract expires, and let me tell you something, the Air Force does not need quantum computing. They just were able to sort of leverage government contacts to get that deal, but they need deal from DoD, Pentagon, NSA, etc. And you know, it really doesn't. It really probably won't. They'll probably be in the same position as Rigetti. Or again, if they can get to even $1 billion, let's say, in revenue, and really high margins, higher than they're at now. Big ass cost structure. I think I didn't even tax Rigetti when I did the Rigetti model. I assumed they would never pay taxes. Poor Rigetti. I assume IonQ only has to pay 10% taxes. Thanks, Logonomics. Okay, so NPV for IonQ, 2.4 billion. That's with some very generous estimates that they get to $1 billion in revenue. I don't think there's $1 billion in revenue demand for quantum just 4 years from now. 4 years coming soon. These machines don't do shit. So I don't know how you get $1 billion in revenue from that. But assume that they do, only a 15% discount rate, almost no tax rate. It's still only $11. So this is like a best case scenario for IonQ is $11. No, I appreciate it, Rita. So that's kind of the situation there. Pretty solid short opportunity.